On to our next news. On Monday, South Korea announced a plan to raise local civilian funds to compensate Koreans who won damages in a lawsuit against Japanese companies that enslaved them during the Second World War.
In response, civic groups gathered outside the Foreign Ministry building to protest against the plan.
South Korean civic groups gathered in Seoul on Monday to protest the government's plan to raise local civilian funds to compensate forced labor victims during the Japanese occupation. Earlier today, Foreign Minister Park Jin told a televised news conference the victims will be compensated through a local foundation funded by civilian donations.
이번 해법은 대한민국의 높아진 국력과 또 국위에 걸맞는 우리의 주도적인 그리고 대승적인 결단입니다. 정부가 이 문제를 도외시하지 않고 책임감을 가지고 과거사로 인한 우리 국민의 아픔을 보듬겠다는 의지의 표현입니다. 피해자들에게는 실질적 대안을 제시하고 과거를 기억하는 또 새로운 노력을 제시한 것입니다. 이것은 문제 해결의 끝이 아닌 진정한 시작이라고 생각을 합니다.
The plan drew an immediate backlash from former forced laborers and their supporters who demanded direct compensation from the Japanese companies.
사죄도 없는 법적 배상도 없는 이런 친일 내국 협상에 대해서 반대하고 있습니다. 피해자가 반대하는데 그리고 대법원 확정 판결이 있는데 우선 권리로 윤석열 정권은 이따위 망동을 저지른단 말입니다.
Meanwhile, Japan Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi told reporters that his country appreciates the announcement. Bilateral disputes had previously intensified after South Korea's Supreme Court ordered two Japanese companies, Nippon Steel and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, compensate former Korean forced laborers or their relatives in 2018.
Now, regarding this plan, U.S. President Joe Biden, whose administration has pressed its two allies to reconcile, hailed the announcement as groundbreaking. Now, the disagreements over labor and women forced into Japanese military brothels have bedeviled ties between the neighbors for decades. And Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida also said he welcomed the proposal and would work closely with Korea. Now, Seoul-Tokyo ties have long been strained over Tokyo's brutal 1910 to 1945 colonial rule of the Korean peninsula, and with the nations unable to reach final agreements on the extent of compensation and also apologies. Now, around 780,000 Koreans were conscripted into forced labor by Japan during its 35-year occupation. This is according to data from Seoul. And this does not include the Korean women forced into sexual slavery by Japanese troops. Now, the Seoul's plan is to take money from major South Korean companies that benefited from a 1965 reparations deal with Tokyo and use it to compensate victims and their families.